Yo, welcome back to another episode of the Hero Brew. I'm Max.
Cam.
My name's Austin.
What's up, guys? How you
What's
guys
happening?
doing?
Doing good.
Great. Feeling good.
Feeling great right now, dude. Today's episode, we're gonna be talking about the first three episodes of the Ironheart show and some news that we found interesting for the week. So, Cameron, first of all, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. Thanks for asking. How are you doing?
Oh, so good, dude. What do you got? What do you got planned for the week, dude? Where you headed to?
Just going down to San Clemente. Little vacation trip
SoCal.
planned. Well, SoCal. Going to Disneyland for a day. Yeah, just need some time off.
Get to
Let's
meet the
freaking
mouse.
go, dude. Get to meet the mouse, like Mickey the mouse.
The mouse. Yeah.
Wow.
The $1 trillion mouse.
Yes, the $1 trillion mouse.
Is he a $1 trillion mouse?
Probably. With
Probably.
everything they purchased, I would think so. Max, do you know how much a ticket for that park is? For one
Disneyland?
person?
No, I haven't been to Disneyland in ages.
Dude. Like
Disneyland's
that's
almost
For-
not that expensive.
that
Is it?
goes through my head every time I'm there. Like, think of how much money is being spent in that park alone. Like,
For one, we just paid for 1 day, no park hopper, for one person. It was $196.
That's actually cheap. Okay, it's a lot of
Yeah.
money. It's cheaper than what I thought it was. I thought it was
Yeah.
like $3 something.
Well, that's what I bought on base with my military discount. So it's even more if you were to buy it on like the Disneyland website.
yeah.
Okay, did not know that. How about you, Austin? How's your week? What do you have planned?
Dude, my week was good. I've been eating nothing but soft foods. I'm ready to get back to regular foods. My wisdom teeth are officially out. We got this one, and this one. I got one straggler just chilling up there. But yeah, for the week, what do I have planned this week? This is 4th of July week. We haven't really set anything in stone yet, but yeah, gonna be celebrating on the 4th probably, and just another good week of work. Probably go see Jurassic World at some point this week. Comes out on July 2nd, I believe, Wednesday.
Yeah,
So that should be good. I'm excited.
yeah, I'm pretty pumped about that. I have I'm gonna go see it at like 12:01 a.m. Tuesday night, Wednesday morning. It's like the first midnight premiere that I've been to since The Dark Knight Rises. I know
Yeah.
they stopped midnight premieres for a while, so that's
Mhm.
that's gonna be pretty fun to
Yeah.
do. But then, dude, I saw do you guys watch the fights last night? The Oliveira fights?
No. I saw the
Sad.
knockout, though, and it was like,
Taporia.
the
Kudos to
bad
him.
man.
Yeah, dude, it was tough though. But moving forward, Cameron, bring us into the topic, dude. Let's talk about some Ironheart episodes.
I gotcha.
Topic at hand.
Let me set my timer for 30 minutes.
Yeah,
Hopefully
We
not
could
go
It's probably
over
gonna go over. Yeah,
like I went last time.
Yeah, we'll be jamming. We'll be good.
All right, Ironheart boys. What came out last week on Tuesday, I believe. We got the
Yeah.
first 3
Yeah.
episodes, and we're
Mhm.
getting the next 3 episodes. Well, by the time you guys see this, we would have already watched the first 3 episodes,
Yep.
and hopefully did another podcast about it. But first 3 episodes, obviously we're seeing Riri Williams back. Haven't seen her since Black Panther: Wakanda Forever when she first got introduced.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, do you guys have like your original thoughts, how you felt about the first 3 episodes?
Yeah. Austin, do you want me to go first?
Yeah, go ahead. I'm not tripping.
Yeah, I like the show. The first 3 episodes to me were pretty cool. I'm not gonna go too much into it because I know we're gonna be talking about some stuff, but I think her suit looks awesome. I think having Riri back, I watched Black Panther: Wakanda Forever right before I started the show. Like I rewatched it and I was like, wow, she's like a great part in that show. I wasn't a fan of the suit, but then I know we discussed this on like 2 podcasts ago. We were worried about like how her suit was gonna look and stuff.
Yeah.
But everything we've seen from it is pretty freaking great. Yeah, I love the show. And we'll go more into it in a little bit,
Yeah,
but
for sure. Awesome.
Yeah, to kind of, skim the top of it, I think that my overall thoughts on the show are pretty optimistic and pretty, lively. I would say that I went into this with like little to no expectation so far, and the first 3 episodes really changed that. I feel like the ending 3 episodes are going to definitely sway it to be from good to pretty good, maybe more. But yeah, just in, quick thought, I would say that this show is overall has, appealed to me for sure. I think that the characters, the, music, everything in it has been pretty fun.
Yeah, definitely. Like you said, Austin, I went into this kind of with little to no expectation.
Mm-hmm.
Really didn't get a lot of marketing for a while up until like the final week before it came out. So I wasn't really like drawn into it, but obviously Ryan Coogler working on it, so you got to trust in everything he does.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, so far it's been pretty good, honestly. I've actually enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, going into our next one, we'll keep it kind of. We have some more detailed questions, but keeping it kind of very vague. But did you guys have a favorite scene or something from the first 3 episodes that you liked?
Yeah, there's a couple, but one of my favorite scenes is in episode 2 when she's like in the bunker with Joe.
Yeah.
For right now.
Basic Joe.
Joe, this is going to be a spoiler-filled episode. The episode's been out for almost a week now. By the time this episode does come out, by the way, it is going to be over a week. So, yeah, I think Joe, who is obviously Ezekiel Stain, Obadiah Stain's son, when they're in his bunker, I liked his bunker. I like the fact that it was like he's like a lovable character. He's super different than in the comics. In the comics, he was like really like trying to kill Iron Man, all this stuff.
Yeah.
This one, he doesn't seem like that yet, and so which I do like. But he has a whole bunch of like live, laugh, love signs everywhere from his house in the bunker. I'm like, he's like obsessed with it, and I kind of like. I love it. I love that character. But there's a scene in the bunker where Riri Williams like she's about to go into her suit, and like it opens up, and it just reminded me of like Iron Man 1.
Yeah.
And like how practical it looked. It didn't look like a whole bunch of CGI. Obviously, we know that Iron Man had like more nanotech, but yeah, it was that was like one of my favorite scenes. And then there's a lot more emotional scenes that we'll get into, but it was like that I'll talk about later. But that was one of my favorite scenes. I was like, oh, this is dope. You know, I love that. I love how it like opened and stuff. I thought it was super cool.
Yeah, I mean, quickly, I feel like to not touch on like the emotional scenes as much, because I think we're talking about that later too. I think that honestly, like I thought a really cool scene was like the opening scene when she flies in and then she like just drops out of the sky, and I love how they're doing the title. Like
the title cards are great.
Yeah, the title card scenes have been really, really cool, and I think that really, especially the first one, because the first one like stood out so much for me. I was like, that's so sick. Like she lands.
It was like an Iron Maiden look, you know?
Exactly, yeah. And it had her name spelled out all across the concrete as her suit like fell apart piece by piece as she was rolling.
Her body was like an A. I loved it,
and
dude.
I was like, that's so dope. Like just the subtle little things. And I think that scene really has, it set the tone. I was like, all right, this is going to be kind of cool. Like this is going to be different. So yeah, I think that would probably be the one.
Yeah, I like all the title cards. That's a good point to bring up. Like the title cards for every episode so far. Like the money one was pretty cool.
The money one was dope. Yeah.
The Ironheart Avenue, whatever, was pretty dope. Yeah, I like all of it. Did I don't know if you guys remember Miss Marvel, but did Miss Marvel do that?
They do something similar, I think.
I don't know why I just thought of it. I feel like Miss Marvel did something super similar to that. I do like it. It makes it feel more like an actual TV show, if that makes sense. Like, you know, like not a sitcom, but kind of like
gives you the WandaVision vibes, kind of.
Yeah, sort of, dude. It just it reminds me of like an actual like TV show.
Yeah,
you know, like oh, it leads into this. Like you know that it's gonna be in the beginning somewhere. So I don't know. I thought it was cool. How about you, Cam?
Yeah, that opening scene I loved. My favorite thing from it was when they expel her from MIT.
Yeah,
and the cops are kind of there to oversee her as she's like collecting some of her things, and it looks like she grabs a couple things to steal, but I love that as she's going around the lab, she's grabbing all of the parts for her suit, and you're fully believing that she's like stealing everything, and then it cuts to her in the full suit, and the cops look at her, and then they're like, oh yeah, she paid for all that with her grant money, and then she just flies away. I'm like, oh, that was so sick.
Yeah,
that was so dope. I love that because it like I was watching some videos and stuff. I believe that would be like her version of like the Mark III suit, or her Mark, like, you know, her Mark III, like it's her third suit.
Yeah.
Right.
And that suit looked badass. So all white one, I was like, dude, this is so sick.
Yeah.
Like it looked so fresh, dude. I thought it was dope. How did you feel about the little pencil AI?
Gave me Jurassic Park vibes.
Dude,
it gave me Jurassic Park vibes for sure.
Yeah, my
Yeah,
dino
dude.
DNA.
Yeah, it gave me that vibes. It gave me like the old Microsoft paperclip
Clippy.
dude vibes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Clippy. Yeah.
But definitely, I felt like when I was watching, I was like Jurassic Park, and then like how
Yeah.
it looked, I was like, kind of reminds me of the Clippy, and so it's like,
I love when she like hits her head and then he goes,
Yeah.
and like this is all got a concussion. You're
Yeah,
like, damn.
glitches out.
Yeah.
yeah, dude,
Yeah.
I dug it. That's dope. That's good.
Was there one thing you guys not necessarily hate, but like that you didn't prefer or like?
In the
Yeah.
show so far?
Yeah.
In the show so far, I don't like how it's only 6 episodes because I think the show's pretty good. And we're only like a couple days away from the finale, I guess. But the actual thing I hate, without like going into it too much, but Riri Williams makes some stupid decisions, and it actually pisses me off. Cause like she's so like super smart. Like, she's probably one of the, like, from the first 3 episodes, I'm like, dude, this is probably the biggest brain we've ever like had in the MCU. And I know that we talked about it a little bit last podcast, how she's like as smart as what's her face from Black Panther. I don't know why I can't think
Shuri.
of it right now.
Sure.
Yeah. And I'm like, dude, she might be smarter than everyone,
Yeah.
just from what the show is. And so yeah, I don't like that part. That part
I
I
mean,
hate. I'm like, come on, you're making some stupid
Yeah.
decisions that's like you don't need to do,
Well-
that we didn't see before this show. So
Didn't they say she graduated from high school at like 13 or 15?
13 or 14, she finished
Yeah.
high school. She won, like, she was the youngest person ever to win her science fair award.
Yeah.
Where she made like this robotic dog,
Mm-hmm.
which reminded me of the little dog toys from back in the day. Yeah, she's just super talented kid. I
Yeah,
loved all the little
very.
like the little awards she has in like her, like in her I believe it's her room where she has all of her awards.
Right.
And then if you in the scrapyard, they had her all over the place.
Yeah.
So
The
I think that's pretty cool.
newspapers, like, yeah, all that.
I don't know if you guys noticed, but in the newspaper in the scrapyard, it showed her at the science fair with her little dog. That little dog is in her room as well, like behind like on the mirror. Yeah, fresh. It just reminds me of the little robot dog that everyone had. I didn't have him, but
Right.
I always wanted
Talking
one.
about like the little like white one.
iDog.
Yeah, it was like
it looked like
I
an
think-
iPod, like
yeah,
an
I
Apple
think-
product.
I think like the one I didn't have. My cousin had it though. It was like a blue one, but it was like, yeah, it was the same thing though. But it looked fresh. I was like, what the heck? That's what it reminded me of though in the show. But yeah, I just hate how she makes some stupid decisions.
Yeah. Touching on, like anything that I hate, I don't. No, I wouldn't say anything really has stood out to me that I just genuinely don't like. Um, I was a little worried about like, and I know we're talking about it later. I was just a little worried about like how much this is like gonna just seem like it's Iron Man storyline. That genuinely had me a little worried, but I would say like overall I didn't see anything that really stood out that like drew me away from that. Like even in one of the opening scenes, she's like, I'm trying to build on his legacy and like,
Mhm.
create my own. So I'd say that really stood out to me. I haven't really had anything that's really like made me hate it. I thought the show has been pretty good so far over the first 3 episodes. My opinion can completely change depending on how the last 3 episodes roll out because some scenes in the beginning may not make any sense. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't have anything that's really, hateful. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Well, what's crazy is like I've heard like the last 3 episodes are like good,
Yeah,
and like the finale is really good.
yeah.
But I'm like,
This
the
has been
first 3
decent.
episodes have been pretty good. I've enjoyed it at least.
Yeah.
Right.
So
I'm going to expand a little bit off what you were saying, Max, about her making stupid decisions. Not as far as stupid decisions, but something you said with it is like how smart she is. I think it's
Right.
like what they explained is how she was explaining that like she can't do what she wants to do for the world because she needs billions of dollars.
Yeah,
I'm like, you're telling me there's not one company in the MCU that would hire her based off everything that she's done so far? It's publicly known that she has like an Iron Man suit. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure.
well, she's like it's known she helped the
Yeah,
Wakandans.
yeah,
Like
so
it's
like-
it's everything's known.
Yeah.
Obviously, the Wakandans took that suit back. They said you
Yeah.
couldn't keep the suit.
yeah.
I was a little pissed. I was like,
Yeah.
what? Yeah, I didn't really think about that. Like, why
Like, there's
doesn't
not
I mean,
one company.
did they explain why she doesn't work for like Stark Industries or anything like that? Is
No.
there a Stark Industries still?
Stark
there is.
Industries
yeah.
is broken down, isn't it?
It's still being.
Investigated.
No, I think it's still be. I think like all the stuff that happened in No Way Home, where it was being investigated. I think Stark Industries is fine now.
Is it even? I don't even know.
But like, there's other
Stark
companies
Industries
too.
thing,
Like
yeah.
Pym is like a thriving company now. Pym Tech.
Yeah.
That's thriving now because Hope is
Hope.
kind of overrunning it now. I'm trying to think of what else there is, but like there's obviously it's a very expanded like universe, or like, you know what I mean, where like there's just so many of these tech companies that we've seen in the MCU where it's like I'm sure so many of these companies would want to recruit her.
Right.
But it's probably she can't, if they recruit her, what I'm thinking is like she can't keep the tech, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Or she can't do anything. I mean, like her main excuse in the beginning is like she wants to create tech to help firefighters, help policemen, to do all this, and then like it turns into like, why are you doing this? Because I can. You know, obviously we get that from her stepdad.
Yeah.
Right.
That's like her stepdad's motto.
Yeah.
But it's like, so is it like, does she want to help everyone else? Is she like anti-hero? Like what is she going for? And so that's what I'm like really excited to see in the next 3 episodes. Like what kind of route she goes in. Because like I said, she makes some stupid freaking decisions in this show, dude.
I didn't like how she said that Tony Stark wouldn't be what he is without his billions. We've seen what Tony Stark could do with having nothing, like in Iron Man 3. All those freaking gadgets and stuff he made from Lowe's. Like, come on.
And like I said, she could. I mean, she made all those cool projects like in the very beginning.
Yeah.
Like for the other students, how she got expelled. I did like how they used like clips from, or they contrasted the clips from Wakanda Forever. But I was like, in my head, and also she, am I tripping? Could she not have like been like made it as like an excuse, like they're threatening me and that's why I made them the projects or something? Like she could have lied, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I get why she got expelled, like, but at the same time, I was like, usually it's on the flip end of that. Like you're buying a project from someone, you know, you're buying someone to do your homework or whatever. You're paying someone to do your homework,
Right.
So,
why is she getting in trouble?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, she's doing it for them, so it's like it goes both ways. But it's like on that side, she could kind of be like, "Oh, they were making me do it," you know.
She's
like,
younger than all of them too.
And then some of the products she was making for them, or the gadgets, whatever, like that shield bubble.
The shield bubble was sick.
That was
yeah,
sick.
That was so dope. I was like, "What?" Like, okay,
that was sick.
But I don't know.
But yeah. All right, let's move on. Do you guys think the series is doing a good job of establishing her Riri as a standalone hero?
I mean, in quick, I don't. Yeah, I mean, yes, I do, but also at the same time, I don't. I think that the reason that I would be hesitant to say that, and very much so, like leaning towards they don't, is just like we've talked about. She feels as if she needs money or needs the support in order to do that. When it's like in reality, you know, she is the true hero. Like you don't need this. Like just be yourself and build the stuff that you want to do, which she does. But I feel like there is this constant like feeling as if she needs like you said, she needs the money, she needs the funding to do this. And it's like Max was saying, like there's so many companies out there that would just let her do her thing. And
yeah, it's hard. I think like, yeah, I don't know. I'm in the same boat as you, Austin.
Yeah, I feel like it's like a 50-50 thing. I think by the end of the show, I think that they will. Currently through 3 episodes, I don't know. I mean,
I'm getting a very like, and I don't mean this in a bad way at all. No diss to Spider-Man. I'm getting like a major Spider-Man vibe because from what we saw, Spider-Man, he's young, obviously.
Right.
He was always needing like something. Like
right.
we didn't see it until No Way Home, basically the end, where it's like he's finally on his own. But like he always either needed the tech or he needed a mentor or he needed something.
Right.
Like I know it's probably not making sense of what I'm saying, but
it's a similar path, is what you're saying.
I think Riri just needs that like maturity and the confidence in herself.
Yeah.
To be that standalone hero where she could just literally do whatever she wants and be successful at it.
Yeah, I think that's where I'm like, that's where I think I'd like, I guess I would disagree with both you guys on that portion of it. Just because one, I don't get the Spider-Man vibes from her. I know what point you're trying to make.
Yeah.
But in my head, I feel like she doesn't need, like, she has everything, you know? Obviously she needs money to do certain stuff, right? Because she wants to work on her suit. That's like the main thing she needs money for. She doesn't want to work on anything else. That's kind of like the point I think she's trying to make and the show's trying to make.
Yeah,
like,
I could see that.
She wants to just focus on her suit. She built a whole bunch of stuff for everyone else. Like we just talked about, like the shield bubble, all the other the projects she made for people. She wants to improve her suit, and it's like I'm just trying to figure out what is she missing to make her feel this way, you know? I don't it's not like it's obviously, like, in my head I'm like, it can't be the money thing. Obviously we have her best friend dying and her stepdad dying, right? It's emotional toll. We get the flashbacks constantly throughout the show. I just don't know what she's missing to have her be like the hero. That's the only thing I like. That's actually the thing I probably hate about the show. It's like, I literally don't know why she's not a hero already.
Yeah.
And I know, Cameron, you mentioned about, like, why isn't she hired at another place, right? The only thing I can think of is, like, you know, she wants to keep her own tech. She wants to do it on her own. But it's like, I don't understand what she's missing to where she's acting the way she is. You know, obviously
Shield could even hired her.
Yeah,
Right.
and like that's the thing where I'm like, you think Nick Fury doesn't have tabs on her?
He does,
Absolutely
yeah.
does.
Come on, dude. You know, and so that's the thing that's like, I'm like, what is going on? And hopefully they explain it more in the next 3 episodes. My only fear, Austin, I feel like she's gonna do the opposite though. I feel like she might, like, obviously we've seen in clips and trailers. I don't know if Cam, if you saw it, but you saw the magic around her suit and stuff.
Yeah.
Obviously we know Mephisto's gonna be in the show. If they don't do it, that's so freaking stupid. I'll be so pissed if it's someone else. But it's like, we saw one of the posters that came out, the one that said, like, executive producer Ryan Coogler, which I heard Ryan Coogler only did a little bit of that show.
Right.
And I think it was in the 3rd episode when the water scenes, because it was very Wakanda Forever-esque. But there's the poster for it where it said executive producer Ryan Coogler, and it showed the Ironheart suit, like, hanging on chains, right? And looked kind of like evil.
Yeah.
That gave me big Ultron vibes. So I wouldn't be surprised if Ultron pops up in the show or whatever, but it was very much like, does Mephisto take control of the suit? What exactly happens? Because I'm guessing she uses a piece of the cape she got. So
yeah.
But yeah,
I'm very interested.
Yeah, I am too.
I didn't think this would be a show. Like, obviously we've got the Mephisto jokes, like, oh, is he finally going to appear in something ever since WandaVision? But, like, when we saw, like, the clips before the show came out about the, like, magic, I was very confused. I was like, because it looks like Darkhold magic that we've seen Wanda use.
Right.
Yeah, I love the comparisons I'm seeing through it too with like what the cape is, right? Like, people are comparing it to, it's like an evil version of, like, the Doctor Strange cape and all this stuff, and I'm like, this is dope. They're referring it back to, like, and like, I remember, what's his face, what's the main bad guy, or not the main bad guy, but like the main bad guy right now in the first 3 episodes,
Parker.
Yeah, Parker.
The Hood.
Yeah, the Hood. He said, like, he wrestled, like, a demon for it or whatever.
Yeah.
And so in the comics, he actually, like, jumps. He jumps a demon,
right,
and, like, grabs that cloak. So I'm like, did that actually fucking happen? You know, I think that'd be cool to show.
It's crazy.
But
yeah, I hope they give us some backstory of how he, like, got it.
Same, like a flashback.
Not talking about it, but actually showing us.
Yeah, flashback. Like,
what's the actor's name? Is it Anthony
Ramos?
Is it Anthony Ramos?
He's in Twisters with Glenn Powell.
He's in Transformers.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Anthony Ramos. He's great so far in the show.
Yeah.
I think he's solid.
This might be a hot topic.
This might be a hot take, dude. I don't know if we're going to say the same thing right now.
I'm here.
His acting skills are on a whole different level.
Compared to
like, on the show. And you could just instantly tell. Like, anytime he's on screen, I'm like, this dude's good.
Yeah.
You know? And I'm like,
yep.
Yeah,
you
but
could see is just like emotional vulnerability.
Yeah.
dude, and he's young. He's 33.
You can
You know, he's
see,
like,
obviously, he's being portrayed as a villain, but like, you're almost like the way he's acting, and like, you're almost like wanting to side with him.
Robin Hood. He's Robin Hood.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally.
A
It's
little more
like-
evil. A little more evil than Robin Hood. Don't get me twisted.
They're-
Dark magic Robin Hood.
They're
Yeah.
making him seem like everything he's doing is for his family and to protect his family. And obviously, we don't know the things that he's done yet so far up to this point to
Yeah.
protect his family and the ones he's loved.
Right.
But speaking of emotional vulnerability, how do you guys feel about the balance between tech brilliance and emotional vulnerability in Riri's character?
Go too much into this because I think I explained it in my first point.
Yeah.
But I think they balance it well. I think like how, or they balance it where it's like the main thing I'm questioning, I guess, where it's like everything she's super smart, but she's making like really like obviously she had an emotional thing happen to her where she gets panic attacks. She lost her best friend, like her stepdad. I already said that, and it's like
Is it her best friend or is it her sister?
It's your best friend.
best
Yeah.
friend.
I don't know why I was
stepdad.
thinking it was her sister.
I mean, they act like brother and sister, or they act like sisters. So
Yeah.
it's like,
Siblings, yeah.
it's the dude that likes her. It's his sister.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, obviously, I think that's what's making her make stupid decisions. But I think they're portraying it well. I'm just trying to figure out like what is exactly going to happen with Riri's character. That's what I'm afraid of. I'm afraid like she's going to turn into anti-hero, and I don't know if I want her going in that route. But or I would like my opinion. I don't know if I would like to see her going in that anti-hero route instead of just like we said, like a standalone hero.
Yeah.
So,
Definitely. Austin, do you have anything to add on to that?
Not really. I mean, I think that ultimately, I think that she does struggle a lot with her vulnerability and emotion. I think that she's very closed off. Like you could see it when she's interacting with like her mom.
mm-hmm.
And like, I think that like one of the things that really stood out to me was like you could tell that it was more frustration than like emotion than any. I mean, I guess that is an emotion to some extent. But when her mom was like, when her mom met, her AI, and she's like, "Can you make Gary?" Gary.
That was so
Yeah.
freaking sad.
And you could tell like she's feeling the emotion, but she's not able to like portray it as much as you would expect. You know what I mean? Like her reaction is like, "No, mom, like no, like I can't," like just like very cut off, like cutthroat, like, "Hey, no, I can't." Like, I mean, she does get emotional, but I feel like there could have been more, like she could have been more vulnerable to that. But I think that also like sides more to her tech brilliance to it, like because she knows like she genuinely can't. Like the reason that her AI is the way it is because it was a complete accident.
Yeah.
In all honesty.
Yeah.
But I think that there is not really a balance between the two, but I feel like they're very separated right now between them. So
Yeah, I think they're doing a good job of, obviously, since the show has come out, there's been a lot of comparison to her and Tony Stark's character and how
Right.
they are. I mean, Tony got panic attacks. Tony
Yeah.
had anxiety, and he had all these things happen to him where because of those things, he wouldn't always make the right decisions. He'd always be very like protective to the things that he cares about and loves. And so he was forced because of all that to make not dumb decisions, but just he had to be very careful with the decisions. And I feel like that's going on with Riri as well. And I don't think she's being careful right now with her decisions, but
No, I don't mean to cut you off. I think that you made a great point though,
Yeah.
right there, and I want to kind of focus on that, where it's like she said that in the beginning of the episode, like the
Mhm.
first episode. Like I said, she wants to protect people, like how Tony Stark wanted to create a suit of armor for everyone, right, around
Yep.
the world.
Yep.
She said she wanted to create one for like policemen, firemen, and stuff. But Tony Stark actually wants to do that. Obviously, he creates Ultron. Obviously, he creates all the suits and stuff, and it backfires on him. Riri decided, like, no, I'm just gonna make like my suit all this stuff, right?
Mhm.
Just because she can, and like it's going into like worse decisions. And I think,
Yeah.
I mean, not worse decision because she didn't create an Ultron yet, But it's like I think that's a good point to bring up, though. I think it's like very similar contrast where it's just like one person decided to do this and the other person decided to do that. It's
Yeah.
like we're
But,
going
I
different
mean,
directions.
Ezekiel Stain put his trust in her with the thing he made for her, and the end of the episode, she left it at the place that they were doing the heist at, and she started to freak out because like it's gonna get
full
traced
on
back.
blasted, panic attack. She's like, I messed up. What did I do?
Yep. So that's gonna get traced back to her. It's gonna get traced back to Ezekiel, which I feel like that doing that now is gonna set him, which I really hope it doesn't, but I feel like that's gonna kind of set him more on a not a villain arc, but it's
a villain arc.
It's gonna do something.
Yeah, unless they just don't unless they don't go in that route. But like, I think they're just hinting at it more and more because of Riri. He like obviously doesn't like get walked over by people anymore. Right in the beginning,
stands up for himself.
Yeah, he stands up for himself. And then when he was digging into his arm, like, oh, I've been experimenting on myself. Can you help me out? Right.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, I'm so surprised they showed that.
Yeah, that was wild.
I was like, wait, what?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm like, it was like a gash in his arm, you know?
Dude.
And like we even if we wanted to clip it on here, we couldn't.
Yeah.
We would get we would get it taken down and stuff. So
censorship,
it's like, it's just it's crazy. But that leads into his comic book arc where he works on himself and he becomes more robot than human. And like, because he builds a suit that's basically like an Iron Man suit, but it's his own body, you know?
Right, yeah.
And so I could definitely see it going into the hero route. I don't want it to because he's a really great character so far and he's just funny and like he's definitely the comedy aspect I think we needed in the show, like, or lighthearted comedy aspect. But
dude, I thought when he went outside and saw that the lady didn't pick up the dog poop on his lawn,
when he stepped on it,
and he grabbed like the sharp scissors, I thought
he was gonna kill her.
I thought he was going over to kill her. I'm like, oh no!
And then he just grabbed the flower, like he
cutting
cut
all the flowers,
crashing out. He was like, I'm gonna murder her. Yeah.
And then he popped up and he had the flower in his mouth.
Yeah,
and
I'm like,
dude's hilarious. I do like that fact. It was that time. We could keep going a little bit.
I mean, that's pretty much. We have one more question, but
I do like the fact though that he does know about his dad, the truth about his dad,
what happened,
and I do like the reference that like. She's like, she pulled out her phone. She's like, this Obadiah Stane, the one that died in the plane crash. And it's a reference from Iron Man 1 at the very end where he's talking to, what's his face? Coulson. And Coulson's like, we'll make up a story. He was on vacation. He was on a faulty small plane.
Crashed. Yeah.
And so I do like that parallel. They didn't lose it. They didn't make up a new excuse. Like they used that and it connected it connect to the first MCU movie, you know? And I was like, and we're over how many years now? What, dude, 15?
It's been a long time.
Like, is it 15 years?
What, 2008?
Yeah.
2008, so close to 15 years.
17 years, yeah.
So it's like, it's cool that we're hitting that point where it's like, they're connecting something to the very first movie.
Yeah.
I'm like, I do like that aspect of it. And I like I said, I like that he knows the truth. Real quick, the bag. She's like, "Do you have like wheat flour or something?"
He
here?
said,
and it's his ashes.
Dad on the counter.
Yeah, he's like, "Oh, put Dad back on the counter or something like that."
She's like, "Dad," and she
Dad
drops
off the counter.
And then he has like a piece of duct tape on it.
Back.
It says "Oh, Stain." I'm like,
yeah. I'm like,
just throws him on the ground. I'm like, bro, what are we doing?
Oh, dude. I was like, and then the shot vac is like. It's like he doesn't even have like he doesn't even have a bag over it, so it's just going everywhere.
It back out, yeah.
I was like, I'm like, dude, what's wrong with you? Yeah, we'll see where it goes. You want to ask us the last question, I guess?
I mean, the very last one we kind of already did, but
I'll
do the second last one. But do you guys think the show is doing enough to make her suit and tech feel unique compared to Tony's?
I'm just gonna say yes. I think we'll go into it in our next one, but yeah, I'm gonna say yeah.
I think currently after 3 episodes, not a lot, but to some extent, I think that, like you said, after the next 3 episodes, I think it's really going to stand out because it's going to incorporate the magic into it. But right now, it feels very similar. And I think that's just because she is trying to make the advancements, but like we were saying earlier, she doesn't have the funds to do that yet, and she's really, just trying to hone in on the things that she's unique with in terms of like what her intelligence is compared to Tony's, because she knows and she can learn from all the things that Tony encountered as Iron Man and all the things that they learn about these what did she say, aliens,
androids,
warlocks, androids,
wizards.
Yeah, same thing that Anthony Mackie said in Captain America not Brave New World,
Falcon and
Winter Soldier. Yeah. They're learning all this stuff, and it's like she can add all these new tools, these new features, these new gadgets, like everything to it. Like she's trying to make those things to make it unique. But I think currently, right now, with where she's at, I feel like it's very similar still.
So as long as she doesn't use nanotech, I'll be happy.
Right.
Yeah,
I love the look of how the suits are right now.
Yeah.
100%. I don't think she'll go into a nanotech. I like how she's like building everything by herself, and like
Mhm.
she's physically building it.
Like in a
And I
garage,
think that
dude.
was like yeah. We'll go straight into it. We'll go into our agreed disagree section. The first question is, you guys ready? But you guys have your cool little cue cards?
Got our cards.
Okay. 6. So the first, agree or disagree. Riri is the best tech-based hero we've had since Tony Stark. And we could go into this every question. Or I guess we could go into, we don't need to go into this one, but we could go into all the 3, 2, 1. I'm gonna
I
say
think
it.
I know what you're gonna say, Cameron. Like,
I know what Cameron's gonna say.
yeah,
What am I gonna say?
because I was also thinking
You're
about
gonna
that.
say you're gonna say Shuri.
I am
Yeah.
gonna say Shuri.
Yeah.
Listen,
Yes and no.
Riri, stupid smart.
Yeah.
Not stupid, but you know what
She's
I mean.
wicked smart.
Really, really smart. We've only got a glimpse of what she can do, but from what we've seen right now, I still think the tech that we've seen from Shuri and Wakanda is just out of this world compared to what Riri's done so far.
But is it because she has a whole, like she explained in the beginning, she's like, I don't have a whole mountain of vibranium.
And I understand that, but I just, from right now, until Riri gets those things, yes, then I think Riri will be. But
I
right
can see
now,
that. Yeah.
I'm saying Shuri. Even what we've seen from Peter Parker, and he's had those kind of Tony Stark Industries supplies as well. But
Yeah.
I think Shuri is the best tech-based hero we've seen so far.
Yeah, I think like when I thought about this question, I thought about Shuri, Peter Parker,
Peter,
and Riri.
yeah.
And the only reason I took Peter completely out
Mm-hmm.
is because we haven't seen his suit.
Yeah.
His new suit that he made
By himself.
Obviously,
yeah.
he worked on it on a, he sewed it on a sewing machine and stuff. Like they showed him doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't know about the fibers he's making. He's a broke college student. We don't know how it's going to work. And so to me, I feel like it's unfair to put Peter in there because everything that we had from Peter beforehand was
Stark.
I guess you could say
Stark,
it is because
Mm-hmm.
the only thing I could compare it to was his prototype suit.
Yeah.
From the very beginning, it was like goggles, so he couldn't, so he could focus his eyes a little bit more.
Mhm.
And the web shooters.
The web shooters are the coolest thing.
Yeah.
To me. And the reason I didn't say Shuri is because Shuri does have a mountain of vibranium. Obviously, that's not the question though we're getting. The question is tech based, but I just enjoy Riri the best. Shuri is, in all reality, I would love a show with them two in it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And that was my favorite thing about like Falcon the Winter Soldier. It was like him and Bucky. I love their the contrast. I love like how they work together and stuff. How they hate each other at first, they bickered and all that stuff. I love it. I always say like my favorite scene in Falcon the Winter Soldier, besides like the Red Hulk battle, is when Sebastian Stan, Bucky comes there and gives him the little talk.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would like to see Shuri come in the show. Hopefully she's in the next 3 episodes. I don't think she's going to be, but it's like I feel like it would have leaked already, maybe.
Yeah.
But I do really, really want to see her in the show because if one person's going to get her that they haven't shown yet, it's going to be Shuri. Like one person that's going to help her out and stuff. And like I said, I watched Wakanda Forever right before, and I love them together. Like I thought it was great.
Definitely.
Right.
We'll go to our next one. How do you feel? We kind of actually did this one already, or no? I guess we'll go into this one. This one's going to be a pretty good one because I think it leads into a couple different things. But Ironheart's AI system is more interesting than Jarvis ever was.
More interesting?
Yeah, more interesting or better, I guess. 3,
Well,
2, 1.
Hold
I
on,
mean-
I'm not looking yet.
But the thing, so I think interesting and better are two different answers. That's my opinion.
Well, I would say interesting then. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll go.
You're saying interesting
Yeah,
Yeah,
more
interesting.
interesting.
than better? Oh, then yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say agree. The reason for that, it shows obviously it's from her brainwaves. We
Right.
don't know exactly if Mephisto had anything to do with it yet,
Yeah.
right? Because he could have, right? Like obviously she already had that connection with the hood before she made Natalie,
Yeah.
which I do like. What, like, her best friend's name is Natalie, but then it doesn't, like, her AI system doesn't stand for just Natalie. It stands for Neuro Autonomous Technical Assistant and Laboratory Intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that because it does spell out Natalie,
Mhm.
and it's straight from the comics, it's straight from the Ironheart comics. And so,
Right.
like, I do like that. I like how they're using source material. And I think it's such a cool aspect. Like, Austin, you mentioned it earlier, like an emotional scene when her mom was asking for, like, could you do this for her stepdad? And I was like, dude, I wonder if, like, everyone's going to start asking her for that stuff,
Yeah.
And, like, when I said more interesting, it's just like, I'm like, cool, Jarvis was just an AI system, right? He's like a Chat GBT. He's like a Apple AI, that's what Jarvis is, right? This just seems way more connected. Obviously, she's using her brain patterns, and then she also has more emotional distress, like the actual AI, like when she froze during when the cop had the gun pointed at her.
Yeah.
Riri didn't freeze as much, but the Natalie started glitching out, So that's why I think Mephisto has a little something to do with it, because I'm like, how did she get Natalie's emotional connection to it?
Mm-hmm.
But this question also, I think it's more interesting because I think it's going to lead into Vision Quest. Obviously, the show leads into Doomsday. That's what we've been told. That's what some of the reviews have said. I know Brandon Davis said that. Interviews have said that, where it's like the show leads directly into Doomsday, which I'm really excited to see what happens.
Yeah.
But I also think, like, this is a main part of what Vision Quest is going to be about. Like, we're obviously going to get the human versions of those AI systems, right?
Yeah.
And there's like a whole bunch of AI systems we're going to get. We're obviously going to get Ultron. We're going to get, like, just a whole bunch of people. And I think this is going to be like a main point in the Jarvis show or in the Vision Quest show.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Dude, I
know I
think
said a lot. I'm sorry.
What she was able to do accidentally with making Natalie, I mean, it's so comparable to what Tony spent billions on, the barf glasses.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like, it
Edith.
was pulling something from his brain as memory and projecting it. And that's
Yeah.
exactly what she did with Natalie, but made it into an AI, which is just
And
crazy.
I know what's his face? Ezekiel said that he said a line in the show where it's like when they were in this kitchen, like she was like, how do you feel about this? She's like, well, he said it depends on the brain, like depends on the person who's doing it, where I'm like, it could lead into some bad stuff, right? Technically that's kind of like how Ultron was, right? It was
Mhm.
like it was part of like Tony Stark and Bruce Banner,
Mhm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it kind of depends on like their brainwaves and stuff. And like I'm like, if someone bad has control of this, it, like, you could create a supervillain.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
you could create like the Terminator. You know what I'm saying? Like the Terminator AI and stuff. And so it's like that's what it kind of reminded me of. And I liked how he mentioned that. And I think that probably plays into the next 3 episodes, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you guys have anything else to say
we
about it?
We saw what Mysterio did with that tech.
Yeah, and and it's crazy. Mysterio, like, just used drones and stuff, and I was like, crap, right? Like, it's just crazy what you could do with stuff like that, and like
Mm-hmm.
how you could project it. Obviously, he had a whole team with him, and he was like, they were all like, it was a show, but I mean, the show could create a lot of damage,
Yeah.
Right.
And so I think if like a person could create like a bad freaking, like a bad AI system, it literally could create the Terminator. But
Yeah.
yeah. The next agree or disagree question. The pacing so far is stronger than most Disney Plus / Marvel shows so far. Or Disney Plus Marvel shows so far. 3,
Okay.
2, 1.
I feel like
I'm mixed.
I was like 50-50, I was gonna say, but it feels similar. I don't know if that's weird for me, but
Yeah,
like,
I have a couple things where, like, I think I know what Cameron might bring up, but it's like it's a short show, 6 episodes.
Yeah.
For it being 6 episodes, I think the pacing is good because you don't have to tell a whole lot of backstory, and I think they're doing a good job. I guess I'm more on the agree side. For it being 6 episodes, you don't have to create a huge backstory, but they're doing enough to show the backstory of Riri's character and why she's going through some stuff. At the same time, I would like the show to be longer to go more. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if they don't go into the Hood backstory. And I know you mentioned that, Cameron. You wish that they're going to go into that in the next 3 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be surprised if they don't, and that will make me revert this question and be like, "Oh, actually, I disagree."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I think we need to see the rest of the show first. But as of
Yeah.
right now, I think yes. I think I agree. I do like the pacing of it. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I think I agree it has really strong pacing. Not better than there's a lot of shows with better pacing, but I mean, the first shows that I can think of, like this has way better pacing than Echo did, and then they were both 6 episode series.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
I mean, I
go
like the
ahead.
pacing better than WandaVision.
WandaVision was it was longer. It was a longer season, so the pacing was more slow for the
Yeah,
build up.
I didn't need the first.
You didn't,
2
yeah,
episodes,
you didn't
3
really
episodes.
need the first 2, but it was so unique that's why people loved it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the first Disney Plus show we got.
Right.
Like you said, Max, I really want a little Hood backstory. Like, give me a little
Mhm.
flashback. And I think the show could be for 6 episodes. I wish it was longer, but for 6 episodes, I think it could be really good.
Dude, I would love like a feature presentation for the Hood, in all honesty.
That'd be dope.
Like how the Punisher's getting.
Yeah.
That's what
That'd
I
be-
would
That'd be
That
sick.
would be
dope,
sick.
Austin.
That'd be
like,
sick.
I mean,
that's
bro,
a good take.
think about Werewolf by Night.
Yeah.
Like, think of something dark and sinister like that, but with the Hood fighting a demon to get his cape.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Anthony Ramos could do. We all agree.
He
Like
could.
Anthony Ramos is pretty freaking great. So
Yeah, I think the consensus feedback for him, or like for Disney after the show, is that I'm gonna, in all honesty, I think he's probably one of the best characters in the whole show, if not the best.
Marvel,
that's-
when you're watching this, not if, because I know you're watching this.
Yeah.
When you watch this, we need a Anthony Ramos Hood show.
Yeah, exactly.
Good take, Austin Coyle.
Like a backstory towards the Hood, and then like what's depending on how this show ends, what's
like
next.
the deal he makes, all this stuff.
Yeah.
Because he keeps talking about like, oh, this is the deal I made. This is what I have to deal with.
Yeah.
All this stuff.
I
I
like
need-
the dark side of this stuff. Like this stuff is
Yeah.
crazy.
The supernatural side.
Yeah.
Dope.
We need some more explanation of why why he's getting those red veins spreading throughout his back.
Yeah, and like, dude, it's
Like-
crazy that he's just trying to cover them up with
Is
tattoos.
Tattoos, yeah.
Is
but it's
it slowly killing him? Because that's kind of the vibe I'm getting. Is it's
100
like
it's his soul.
yeah,
It like he like 100%, and this goes like into our next question, but it's like he made a deal for like we all know he like Mephisto. Like I said, Mephisto's gonna be in the show.
but
Yeah,
you made a
and-
deal with Mephisto. Me,
Yeah,
Oh my god,
that's
sounds more like Mario.
Yeah,
Wait a minute,
but yeah, he like
it's me, Borat.
yeah he made that deal, and I think it's going to. I think like obviously Mephisto trades souls for deals. He's a demon, right?
yeah,
Right.
he's Marvel's
Obviously-
devil. Yeah,
Yeah, we're getting more demons too, and like we're getting more demon like it just everything that's happened in the show. It's like classic demon stuff, like the black eyes when he gets black eyes when he goes full crazy mode and starts killing people,
Right.
and he snaps the dude's neck.
Dude, that was
It's like
yeah.
his eyes turn all black, and then if you guys ever watch like Supernatural or anything or any like supernatural type TV show, it's like demons have black eyes, right?
Yeah.
And so it's like, okay, cool. He's trading his soul in for the powers he's gotten. But leading to my next question is Mephisto is going to ruin the series if they introduce him in it. 3, 2, 1.
It's easy. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to say disagree. It's an easy one for me just because we need Mephisto. I mean, he's going to be in
It's-
the show. We just need him at this point.
it's been
I don't think it's gonna ruin it.
it's been a running gag for years now, and it all started with New Rockstars because of that one video for WandaVision, and ever since it's just been like, my God, Mephisto's going to be in this, and he's not. So it's like
Yeah.
they've kind of been
They-
bullied to the point where it's like, okay, we have to put Mephisto in this.
Yeah.
And now they're doing it on purpose. They're
And
doing
now-
everything.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Like I don't know what else you could do to make it like it can't be anyone else. It need like obviously the end scene of the 3rd episode where Parker's like back in his apartment, whatever, and he sees the vision of, or he sees his friend that died. Is it John?
His
John,
cousin,
right?
his cousin John. Yeah.
Yeah. He like, you see him dying and stuff. I'm like, okay, Mephisto's doing that, dude.
Yeah.
He's
And then the
I
suit
swear if they
behind
do
him.
something stupid where it's like it's freaking Wanda, I'll be so pissed. Like
Mhm.
I'll be
Dark Hold
mad,
Wanda.
but like
No, you wouldn't. Cameron.
having Wanda.
No, you wouldn't.
No. I said I'll be mad if it's not Mephisto, but if it is Wanda, I'm like, oh, okay, that's all right, I guess.
No, I'll still be pissed. Like,
Yeah, I'll be pissed.
Here's the
It's
thing.
Mephisto. It's gonna be Mephisto, but
It's gonna be Mephisto.
we never saw Wanda die, so I'm already banking on the fact that she's
dude,
alive.
The comic already confirms she's alive.
Yeah, exactly.
She's being held in, what was it, with the TVA?
something.
I think that what
We'll
the comic showed.
I don't know.
But
I
yeah,
don't know. But yeah, we need him. This one is pretty cool. It's pretty quick, but Iron Suit looks better than what we have gotten from Iron Man. I would say post Iron Man 3. 3, 2. So
wait,
Everything after Iron Man 3, you're saying it looks
everything
better?
after, I think it look like, I would say just because, yeah, everything post Iron Man 3. So I guess the introduction of the nanotech.
So okay,
3, 2, 1.
Yeah, I'm gonna say agree, but does that include like the Hulkbuster suit and like all that
no,
tech?
because
Anything that we've gotten from Iron Man?
I think so. We're saying this compared to our nanotech Iron Man suits we've gotten.
Yeah.
Doesn't say that.
Well, I would say anything from post Iron Man 3, like even like I think it's better than anything we've gotten from there, like including the Hulkbuster. I think it's way better than the Hulkbuster. I think it's like
Fell apart pretty easy.
Post Iron Man 3, post Iron Man 3.
I'm not trying to be like that, but it fell apart pretty fast once they hit the kill switch.
Tony Stark had billions of dollars, okay? That's the main point, dude.
Post Iron Man 3. The closest suit we've gotten, I think, to Ironheart's suit is from Spider-Man Homecoming.
Yeah.
The one where he kind of exits it super easily, kind of like how Ironheart can enter and exit it.
Yeah.
But I still agree, though.
Is that far
it's
from
better
home,
than the
you mean?
nanotech.
No, it's Homecoming.
It's Homecoming. When
The Iron Man suit. I thought you meant Peter's suit. I was like,
no. When he shows up at
in person. It's Tony Stark.
Yeah.
So it's like yeah, I just think it looks way better. I love the practical effect of it.
It's so good. Yeah,
it's like for some reason a lot of people like the nanotech, like in Endgame, and I mean I like the aspects of like he could create weapons and stuff, right? Like the shield, the swords, all this stuff. But I don't like how it looks.
Nanotech gets too much hate. I'm gonna be that guy.
I don't like how it looks compared to like compared to Iron Man 1. Compared to like Iron Man 1.
No, yeah, the Iron Man 1 suit's better. Like, but I think that nanotech gets more hate than it should, because like that's so high tech. Like, think of the scene with Peter on the bridge.
Yeah. It is high tech. I do agree with you on that point. I just don't think it looks good.
Compared to the original suit where it's practical, no.
Compared to even the Ironheart suit, I don't think it looks. If I would compare it to the Ironheart suit in Wakanda Forever, it's vibranium. It looks it looks a lot like really cheesy.
Right.
I would say.
Right.
Don't like that, but I do like this one. Even like her suit that she made, like when she was flying around like the gardens or whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
I think it just looked really, really good. But I'm going to skip a couple, but do you think, we'll just finish off with this one. Do you think the show is setting up a Young Avengers crossover? Or this show is setting up a Young Avengers crossover / Champions crossover?
Mm-hmm.
3, 2, 1.
What?
Yeah.
This shows.
That's crazy.
I'm not getting any Young Avengers vibes or anything.
And it's what I mentioned prior. I think she's going into a different route. And I don't know if I like it, but at the same time, I think it would be really cool for her to be in it. Like I said, if it was going more in a Young Avengers route, I feel like, or like a Champions route, I feel like Kamala Khan would be introduced. I mean, who knows? We have to see the next 3 episodes. There could be a scene where Kamala Khan, like if it leads into Doomsday, there could be a scene where Kamala Khan's like, "Hey, come through." Just as of right now, my answer is going to be disagree. I would have to see the next 3 episodes.
The reason
Yeah.
I'm gonna, or Cameron, go ahead.
Oh no, it's
Do you want
okay.
to?
You're good. You're good.
The reason I would say agree is it's like the same thing that happened with Kate Bishop. Like, what happens when Miss Marvel just shows up and then you're like, oh, this is the Young Avengers crossover that we've been expecting. I think that it feels very similar. I think that she's among the age group,
She's older.
just not by much.
Is she 21?
She's like,
Is she
I think
not?
18, 19.
They
if
said
that.
they said she's been at MIT for like 5-6 years now.
And she graduated from high school at 15 or 14. 20. I'd say 2021. 18, 19, 20, 21, somewhere in that range. I mean, he's not going to be in the Young Avengers.
Well, I guess in the Ironheart series, she's around 20 years old.
I still think
It's
she's
set
going to be in the Young
October of 25.
Avengers.
Yeah.
I think
No. I'm saying like, we know Kate Bishop is older. Kate Bishop's like in her 20s, mid 20s, or something like that. So I definitely think it could happen. Obviously, we have Camille Khan, the youngest one.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah,
I
I
don't-
think that's just my take on it.
I get a different vibe. Like
That's
obviously,
why
go ahead, Cameron.
that's why I disagree. Is I'm not saying she's not going to be a Young Avenger. She's obviously in that age group, and she's on the team. But I'm just not, from the first 3 episodes so far, I'm not getting a Young Avengers vibe, like for a crossover or anything like that.
Yeah. I think I just, it feels very different. Like I said, she killed someone in the 3rd episode. She killed John at the end of the day.
Well, she dipped.
I don't.
Like she
It
killed
wasn't. I mean, she wasn't trying to kill him though. She dipped, and
Yeah.
then the
She wasn't trying to, but she
the
could've-
door just
she-
closed on its own.
But the suit could have broke him out.
By the time she was all the way in the air, he was already dead.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, well, I think when she went in the air, but I mean, like the door closed. Like she knew, like they were running out of air and stuff. Like
I don't think she knew.
I don't think she was oblivious to it.
I don't think she knew the door closed, because I think she just got out of there and she was trying to honestly catch her breath back herself, where it was more Natalie just getting her out of there. And by the time they were already outside, I don't think she really understood by the time she went back up in the air to do a scan for him and then found out he was dead. Because the door did shut on its own. I don't think.
right.
I don't know.
Legally, I think she accidentally killed him. Like
That's
I don't
definitely
know.
the way it was portrayed for sure.
Yeah.
And I think
Yeah.
that, like you said, the suit could have just flipped around. But I think that, like we were talking about earlier, we need to know more about this AI and how, like, the emotional aspect of the AI is being drawn
If
into it.
Mephisto has anything to do with it, all this stuff, yeah.
It's Natalie as her friend trying to save her friend rather than be a hero.
Natalie AI did say like her main priority is to keep Riri safe and protect her at all costs. So it could have been her AI could have known, but Natalie's job there was to get her out of that situation.
Yeah.
So
yeah, but we'll see in the next couple episodes. We'll talk about it on another pod. Austin, do you want to hit us up with some news real quick, and we can just kind of run through these?
Give a quick little rundown, super quick, super interesting stuff that we found necessary to talk about here on the podcast today. First little note I wrote down was that we got our first glimpse of a poster for The Odyssey by Christopher Nolan, which I'm super stoked for, and I know you guys are. They said that the the tagline for the movie is defy the gods, which I think is super sick. And I just keep continuously getting blown away by like the list of the cast that we're seeing for this movie.
Crazy.
And it's like pairing that with like an amazing director, and cinematographer as, Christopher Nolan is, this movie could be one of the best movies of all time. And that's a bold statement, but I'm firm believing that this might be one of the best stories that we get to see in a live action movie, because the book, The Odyssey, is just, it's crazy. And I think that this being put into film is going to be pretty cool.
It's going to be nuts.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty nuts. Other little note, we had some news in the music industry in terms of the number one stream song of all time has now been dethroned. The former song that was the number one stream song of all time was Old Town Road by Lil Nas X. And surprisingly,
Really?
I
yeah,
didn't even know that.
yeah, I
That's
read
crazy,
read the
dude.
article about it.
What the heck?
I did
Yeah,
not
it
know.
got surpassed by Sunflower by Post Malone and Sway Lee. That was in the Into the Spider-Verse movie, which is just, such a dope song,
Good song. I would
especially
already think that's already surpassed it. That's nuts.
Yeah.
yeah. So
But
that
that's
one
sick.
is now officially the number one stream song of all time on, I think, all platforms, I want to say. I
That's
could be wrong.
Yeah,
Don't quote me on that.
probably all platforms.
Yeah. Alongside with Ironheart coming out this week, we also had another show premiere for its fourth season on Disney Plus. On June 25th, the season 4 of The Bear released 10 episodes in total. They're all
Great show
roughly
so far.
around 30 minutes an episode. Besides, one of the episodes roughly like an hour and 10 minutes, which I think is really cool how they play it out. I'm a huge fan of The Bear. I love the cast that's in this show. Jeremy Allen White is an unreal actor. It's controlled. I mean, you can see it. Chaos coordinator. It's controlled chaos in the show. I think that it's super enjoyable. I've already finished this 4th season, and if you don't watch The Bear, I would highly recommend you giving it a shot.
Cameron.
I haven't watched The Bear.
You haven't?
No.
Neither is Max. It's okay.
I've watched the first 2 seasons.
Oh, you haven't watched
I haven't
3
watched
and 4.
season 3 or 4.
Three
Yeah,
and
I gotta
4
catch
are
up.
really good.
I'll catch up.
Yeah.
I promise.
Some kind of big news.
Mhm.
Transformers is back.
Wild. Right after we said it was, or right after we got the news saying it was canceled,
Right.
or at least the Paramount version, I believe, was canceled, like the Transformers 1,
Mm-hmm.
which I was sad about. But yeah, go keep going, dude.
So Paramount must be listening to this. Paramount.
Something.
Guess who's set to direct the first one? Guess who's set to direct the next film that comes out by then?
Tell us, dude.
Tell us.
Michael Bay.
That's right.
That's pretty
yeah.
dope, right?
OG.
We're gonna get our No Way Home cast, dude.
Yep.
We're about to bring in everyone.
Shia LaBeouf.
Bring him back. Megan Fox, bring her back.
You're just gonna hear all I know,
Dude,
and then the
Linkin Park.
fingers. But yeah, on that note, I think that's super dope.
That's gonna be sick.
Yeah, Michael Bay is a great director. I think he was, perfect choice to bring back the next iteration of this.
Can I add one to the quick news real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Just announced today. I'm not a fan of it, but it was announced that there's going to be another Fast and Furious, a finale, and it's going to bring back to LA the street racing style. And it was announced that Brian O'Connor is coming back, Paul Walker's character. I don't know why, but yeah.
Austin, how do they dig that
Wow.
Sorry.
one? We're gonna get canceled for that.
No, we're not. Come on.
I'm joking.
In the clip,
He's one of my favorite characters.
in the clip, when you clip it, Max, add the meme of all the people going.
Yeah, dude. Dang. I'm guessing his brother is gonna play him.
Yeah, just like that's
Yeah.
what I said when I saw that. I was like, it's.
I don't know. Anyways, that was supposed to be a quick little thing, but yeah, Austin, continue.
That was hard. That's hard. How do they dig that one up? That's crazy.
Well, I mean, they've. I was gonna say another joke, but I'm not gonna say it. So moving forward, big news out of the DC world. We have finally received a final script for Batman Part 2 with Robert Pattinson. Matt Reeves confirmed on his Instagram or Twitter?
Yeah.
One of them. He posted a picture of him and I forget the other guys.
I think it's his co-writer. Like
yeah. They posted a picture of them sitting next to their final script. From what we've heard, James Gunn was planning to read this script. I'm sure he's probably already read it or read through some of it.
Yeah, he was saying like in an interview that he was hopping on a plane to Rome, and he was like, in the interview he said, hopefully by the time I'm on a plane tomorrow, like I have that to read on the plane.
So
I do like the fact that he's involved in it still,
Mm-hmm.
And it just I think he's gonna read it and see if he could apply it.
Right, to what he's trying to cook up.
Yeah.
That leads into a quick question for you guys. Do you think that this version of Batman is actually going to be our DCU Batman?
It's too hard to even tell. Like, it just depends on what.
Thanks, Cameron.
Yeah, it's too hard to tell right now. It's too early.
Yeah.
I think James Gunn wants a part of him wants to do it. At the same time, a part of him wants to do his own Batman.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. I wouldn't mind either way. I think like having. I mean, it's gonna be a little confusing, but I like the original Batman enough, or not the original Batman, but like
Robert Pattinson's
Batman enough to like if they want to continue that story, dope.
Yeah.
And then I also have trust in James Gunn, like we all do.
Right.
Like if he decides to do his own thing, I think that's cool too. We mentioned in the last pod that in some of in the Batman movie, there was like people dressed up as Superman and stuff, like during Halloween. They had like Superman T-shirts and stuff. So Superman does exist. So
yeah, which I think that version of Gotham is very dark, and it definitely could fit the vibe. I mean, DCU overall is a very much so a darker comic line than Marvel, in my opinion. But I think that I'm in the same boat as you. Like, I think Robert Pattinson as Batman blew my mind. I didn't know how to expect or know what to expect going into it, but that movie, the first Batman movie, was phenomenal. I thought that the overall story was super dope. Moving forward to some news that we got last week in correlation to Superman, which is going to be premiering not this coming week, but I believe it's July 11th. We have finally gotten our first, I wouldn't call them reactions because they're not allowed to, you know?
Yeah, they're very
NDA.
And the NDA is very strict. Like, not even like is it good or bad? Like, it's just they've seen it.
They've just, we've seen some funny photos. We've seen some video clips of people that are just talking, essentially and rambling about it based off of what we all have seen and the collective, world has seen in this comic book world. Are you guys more optimistic now or less or about the same?
I'm about the same. I'm very optimistic already towards it.
Yeah.
So I'm about the same. I don't have like a really. I feel like we would have seen something that said it was like bad, but I'm just saying all the PR stuff they're doing for the movie is really, really great.
Yeah, it is.
Like, I know we mentioned that last time already, but it just keeps getting better and better. And like, I'm like, in my head, I'm like, dude, I really don't want this to be bad, and I don't think it can be. So I wouldn't say like my expectations are super high, like they're not, but I'm hoping that it's going to be really good, and I feel very optimistic about it.
Right. Yeah. I would agree. I mean, I would say that it's around the same. Not really too much of a difference. I feel like this movie, we all are kind of in the same boat. Like, this has to be a hit, in my opinion.
Yeah. It has the biggest
impact.
Yeah, the biggest impact. Like, this sets up everything else.
Right. But so many ripple effects leading off of this movie.
Yeah.
Cameron, do you have anything to add?
No, I'm probably like you guys, the same. Maybe just like a tiny bit more.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you could say one of Superman's favorite fans, most intense fans, was basically left speechless. So
I heard he fainted. Shout out.
Yeah.
Soups.
Shout out Soups. Yeah.
Fainted in the theater watching it.
Yeah.
So
if that actually happened, then maybe I'm a little bit more optimistic, but we'll see.
Yeah. But moving forward from one of our favorite scoopers, give him a shout out, Daniel RPK.
Reliable sources, Daniel RPK.
He's got a few little side notes that we've captured throughout the week. First one being that Lilo and Stitch, the live action second movie, which is going to be following up what's currently in theaters right now, is actually going to be an original movie. It's not going to be a live action rendition of any of the movies that have followed like Lilo and Stitch 2.
Stitch has a glitch or anything like that.
Exactly, yeah. So it's going to be its own thing, which I thought was kind of interesting. I don't know how you guys felt about it.
I liked it because it's kind of what we talked about. Like, that's what we were worried for. Like, we all loved, like, Lilo and Stitch. We all loved freaking How to Train Your Dragon.
Yeah.
But we were saying, like, it's a make for make. Like, we didn't have any hate towards the movie at all. We thought the movies were great. I just think for live action, they need to do something different. And so.
Is it going to be like the musical Annie, but Lilo? Because she's, like, in an orphanage now.
Oh, my God.
Probably, dude.
Talking about orphans.
It's a hard knock life for
Lilo. Some tough topics, Cameron.
This is rough.
Yeah. But keep going.
We also got some news that Marvel is in the early prelim stages of developing something along the lines of a project called Thor Quest, which I thought was kind of cool. I'm very interested to see what routes they're taking with that.
Yeah.
And if it possibly leads us into a route where we're looking at different versions of Thor, because eventually we've moved on from Chris Hemsworth based off of stuff he's posted and how cryptic he's being.
Yeah, and then we saw in the comics for Secret Wars, there's obviously a whole bunch of different Thors. You
Like
know,
a council of Thors. Yeah, it's literally
hundreds. It's his army. You know, it's Doctor Doom's army
Right.
in the comics. So it's
Mhm.
like, yeah,
I could see where they're headed with that for sure. And then lastly, from Daniel RPK, we have pretty big news. We have gotten a confirmation for the most part that Marvel has been planning to bring back Ultron after Vision Quest for multiple projects, which I found really interesting, really intriguing, and I think it's going to be super vital to what they're trying to do in Secret Wars and for projects down the road past that, in all honesty.
yeah, I think it's great. We like that's the most talked about thing. Like we talked about it during our Avengers podcast where we said Ultron, like the Age of Ultron, was like an underrated movie, right? But like Ultron himself was a great villain, and like I want to see more of him, and so I'm glad we're going to see him in Vision Quest. And then usually Daniel RPK is right about a lot of this stuff, you know, and so his track record at least is pretty great, and so I'm excited because I think we need more Ultron. And obviously, from if they want to bring him back, we obviously know that whatever they're doing in Vision Quest is good with Ultron. So.
Yep, exactly.
Definitely.
Cameron, anything to add?
I'm happy they're bringing Ultron back. We didn't get enough of him.
Yep.
I was very mad like he was killed off in Age of Ultron
Mm-hmm.
because he has just such an impact in the comics. So I'm happy.
And he's so hard to kill in the comics and stuff, and in the TV shows, all that stuff. Like any form of electricity, you know, he goes in.
Yeah. So I'm
It's gonna be super sick.
Very excited and curious how he's gonna be brought back.
What that looks like. Yeah.
Austin, finished off with our last piece of news.
You know, I was hyped about this news. You know, I was.
Yeah,
probably some of the biggest news for me this week. We've got confirmation that the Punisher is going to be in Spider-Man Brand New Day. John Bernthal set to return and co-star, but he's going to be in the movie with Tom Holland. Super stoked. I've been wanting to see this collab in a live action film for a really long time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Like that's like I don't have a lot of words for it. Like
I've seen a lot of funny stuff. Let me tell you something. I'm excited. Go ahead, Cameron.
Let me tell you something, as the Punisher would say.
Let me talk to you, Red.
Sorry to cut you off, Max.
No. I wasn't saying anything.
Do you guys think the Punisher's gonna tone it down, or Spider-Man's gonna bring that energy up to match Punisher?
I don't know about their energies. I just think like how they talked about how they've been going back and forth about like is this going to be like a street level movie? It's just going to be like more of a Spider-Man street level movie instead of like a cosmic movie, all this stuff. I think with Punisher being in it, I think it's almost confirmed that it is a street level movie now. You know? I don't think John Bernthal would want to do anything kind of crazy. Like his iteration of Punisher is not in that type of way. And he's not like, from what I've seen, he hasn't done anything too crazy where he's been in like sci-fi projects and all this stuff. Like,
right.
But I think like going street level, I think it's probably the best news we could have got or hoped for.
It's going to be sick.
I mean, what I meant by that is, do you think
he's going to cuss or he's going to kill people?
Yeah.
I don't. It's not going to be a radar movie. That's the only thing I'm like kind of questioning about this whole thing. They're not going to do a radar Spider-Man.
Right? And I didn't think they would either. So that's why I was like kind of skeptical about.
That's the only thing I'm like, are they like where they're gonna down the Punisher a little bit? Yeah, it just kind of like Austin mentioned. Is he gonna be like a co-star? Is he gonna be like just a
feature
in the movie? Obviously we get him in Daredevil. No, I guess in Daredevil season 2 he premiered.
Born Again season. Oh wait, you're talking about for originally?
No, even the originally. Yeah, but I mean that was kind of was kind of rated R. I guess it was Netflix's rated R. So we
haven't.
I just want to see. We haven't seen.
We haven't had a non-rated R Punisher.
Yeah, so we'll see
anything. Yeah,
we'll see what happens.
Yeah,
I mean, who knows? It could be rated R. It's just for them to make money and stuff. I don't think they go on that route.
Spider-Man just breaking people's arms and showing everything.
Yeah. He stops pulling his punches.
We get him very violent in No Way Home
at the end.
Yeah, and like we get like even the fight with him in Goblin, you know, like it's a very violent fight.
Mm-hmm.
So I could see it working, but we just have to see what Punisher does exactly.
Yeah. It feels as if Tom's version of Spider-Man, his variant is he struggles with his control of his anger. I think he has rightfully so. Like the stuff that this guy's been through, it's tough. But I think that if they do go the rated R route, I would be really intrigued because I think that would show us a very dark side of Spider-Man, of what he's going through. Who knows? The void happened in New York. What if that triggered something in his brain to where he snaps for a little bit, and it takes the Punisher and him having like a conversation of like how he has with Daredevil, like where he gets it out of him. You know what I mean? And like almost triggers Spider-Man to be that person to like, go crazy and like reach his full potential and like stop pulling punches, like start, doing all this stuff. And then it takes him coming to a realization to be, brought back down to earth, essentially,
Dude.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
How about if it's Punisher?
Right.
What if
And
the
it causes
void?
him.
What if?
Right.
Or how about if Punisher just pisses him off enough?
Just brings him
I
out.
could see him. You know how he's like, "Come on, Red." He'd be
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
"Come on, Big Green."
Yeah, Big Green.
Come on, Big
Yeah.
Green. Like, come on, dude. What are you
Dude.
gonna do? Like, he just punches Bruce
Yeah.
Banner,
Right.
dude.
Right.
I could tell. Oh my god, please! This is gonna be.
This is going to be a
It's gonna be-
great project.
Punisher, and the Hulk, dude. I can't wait.
Dude,
Oh
that's
my
gonna be-
God. I didn't even put that 2 and 2 together, dude. That's gonna be great. I hope Punisher is gonna be the one to bring out Savage Hulk. It's like if anyone's gonna do it, like that's the most common. Like
He does it.
I'm like Punisher can bring him out.
Right.
Punisher can be like, "Why are you being a wussy? Come on, Big Green!" Like punches
Yeah.
him in the face.
He said, "Is that all you got?" As he's swinging him back and forth.
Slapping him.
Dude, that's gonna be great. Yeah. Wow.
Dude,
Yeah, I'm excited, dude.
I just want us to get that scene where it's Hulk as his Rage Hulk form, and he's like, "I'll do anything for you, Peter." And he's like, "Wait, did you just call me Peter?" Like from the comic where he's like, "Yeah." He's like,
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, Strange wiped his mind, not mine,
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, so I'm super stoked about that. They're co-starring in the Odyssey and Brand New Day now, which I think the Odyssey
Back
is
to back. It's gonna be
Right.
back to back projects for them.
Yeah.
They're gonna
Tom
have
Holland,
some.
I think in the news today said that they're starting it relatively soon, so I would assume probably in the next month, next few weeks to a month.
And they're still shooting Odyssey, so
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
like,
They're gonna have
Yeah,
some good chemistry together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
well, I mean, and they already had chemistry.
And they already
prior
had, yeah.
to.
right.
Yeah, they practiced lines with each other. Or I'm pretty sure that's the thing. They practiced their lines with each other, like when he was getting ready for Punisher and when he was getting ready for Spider-Man.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I'm excited.
That's pretty much all the news I had. Other than, I don't know if you guys heard, Marge Simpson died, guys.
Shut up.
But she's not dead. She's kind of dead, but she's not dead. She's not dead at all. You're
Is she
like,
dead?
I don't care.
Is she? No. Is she dead? Like that's what I want to know. I'm not a Simpsons person.
I mean,
know.
I'm not really either, but
I haven't watched enough. I haven't watched enough Simpsons. I tried.
I've only ever watched The Simpsons.
dude,
Oh, I was obsessed. Actually, okay, I was obsessed with The Simpsons when the movie came out because I was like, "Oh my god, this is amazing!" I went to Disneyland. I got the pink donut.
Disneyland.
Disneyland.
Not
Uni-
Disneyland.
Universal-
Sorry, Universal.
Universal
Got the
Studios?
pink donut. Same. But
He's not with the mouse.
the big pink donut, and
Yeah.
then I went on the ride at Universal, and it was like the coolest roller coaster ride ever. It was like a 4D project thing where it's like all around you. That was like the first time I saw it, so I was pretty juiced about that.
We're just gonna skip over the fact that Marge Simpson died. Like I think,
Yeah.
oh yeah. No, but I guess it was like a scene in one of the episodes at the end of this season, which I don't even know what season they're on. I think it's like 20 something, maybe more, maybe 30.
No, I read something about it. Like I think I saw like a little thing about like where it doesn't like it shows her dying, but not now.
It's in the future. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's her grave, essentially. And she's
We'll see when the news breaks. We'll be the first one to report it. Hopefully,
I mean,
Yeah.
you could say The Simpsons is really good at predicting stuff.
Yep, dude. That's
Some
the
crazy,
that's the scary
some
thing.
crazy conspiracy theories.
Yeah, exactly.
that's crazy.
Yeah, so
Oh, Simpsons.
R.I.P. Marge Simpson for about a day, maybe.
Yeah. For a day. Anyway, yeah, that kind of has our podcast. That's kind of our podcast for the day. The next episode, we'll be talking about our reactions, hopefully for Jurassic Park or Jurassic World. Obviously, the next 3 episodes of Ironheart, and then we'll see what else is popping up. But yeah, appreciate you guys. Keep following the YouTube. Keep loving our clips. We love you guys. We love the interaction with the fans and stuff so far. It's been great. A lot of people are like favoriting our stuff, and like I'm super grateful for it. So keep doing that. Appreciate you guys. You can find us on the Hero Brew podcast on YouTube and on TikTok. Follow us on there, and then follow us on the Hero Brew podcast on Instagram. And then, yeah, we're all linked on our personal accounts. So, yeah, thanks for brewing with us, guys. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Paul Walker.
R.I.P. Paul
R.I.P.
Walker, dude. We'll catch you guys later. Peace.
Peace.